Hello, this is Lysha, Holmes of Key Recruitment, and I'd like to welcome to our YouTube channel today a very long-standing connection of mine who I met many years ago. It's Ian Knowlson. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Lysha. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm keeping safe. I hope you are too. And I wanted to invite you on today because obviously you and I have known each other a very long time and we really share a lot of positivity about the market. And I would think it'd be really useful for our viewers and my connections for some of your wisdom to really shine through. So there's a couple of areas I want to talk to you about today. So first and foremost, where we're at the moment with COVID-19, your role as a non-exec director in a number of recruitment businesses gives you, I think, a very unique perspective of what's happening in the recruitment market. So can you just give us a snapshot of how you see things currently and then where you think there's going to be potential for businesses to either, focus their growth and recruitment, so to speak, and also where companies should be really focusing on investment. So over to you.
Lots of questions. So where do I see the market today? I think where we are right now, we are just on that tipping point where I think the economy is about to sort of come out of lockdown. We have opportunities for businesses that are in the emerging economies. So at the moment, this week, the businesses that are already back at work are construction, manufacturing, engineering. They've gone back. I think they probably went back about a week, 10 days ago. But in terms of temporary recruitment, that's a big positivity, big growth area. As a non-exec director, one of the things I've picked up in construction is that the construction sites probably want to work longer hours. So they're going to probably open about 7 o'clock in the morning, certainly go through beyond 8 o'clock in the evening, maybe longer than that. And you could find 24/7 working in certain places where it's not interfering with domestic properties and things like that. So you might need double shifts. So construction, definitely with safe conditions, with the right distancing, construction I definitely think is going to grow and is going to go fast. So that's one sector. Engineering, manufacturing, they're back. Temps are definitely being sought in all of those areas. I think office working, so all the traditional accountancy, IT, they most of them have been working to a greater or lesser extent through lockdown. So that's continuing. There are other sectors now which we hear are coming out. So retail is going to move out again this week. I just think we'll start to see things pick up a lot quicker. And I'm very positive about it all. We've got a number of big challenges as a nation and as a global society, but I'm extremely positive. I think there's been some big changes. I think the work from home experiment is no longer an experiment.
Agreed.
I think people have already accepted we can work from home. Yeah. Why would I want to get in a car and drive all the way to Bristol? I live in Cheshire, by the way. For a 2-hour meeting to drive all the way back when it's somebody I know. Yeah. If it's somebody I know, then I'll just get on a Zoom call.
It's so easy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you and I, last time we met, I think it was the Printworks in Manchester. We had lunch together. We chatted about a few things. If we wanted to get together now, we could just have a cup of coffee and, we can ring each other up,
Got one.
Yeah, there you go, you see.
It is, see?
We can have
things have changed. Things are easy.
And I, in as well as my non-exec work, I also do growth coaching, and I'm also with some of the brands. I do a bit of global influencing using social media, as you know.
Yeah.
And I'm already communicating and talking to guys who started in the last hour in New York, and I'm going to be doing a training and coaching session with clients in Hong Kong and New York in the next few weeks. And people are very comfortable. You went back 4 or 5 months ago, people were a bit, I'd rather you came down here and did it in a classroom. Now it's like, well, let's make this work.
Yeah, it's a trust thing, isn't it? I think, and I think for people like yourself and myself, we've worked through very difficult economic conditions, but it's not necessarily affected everyone. But I think what's emerged out of this is the common sense of purpose that we all want to get to a point where we can see what the new normal looks like. And I think from what you're saying, things are starting slowly to get back to some sort of reality. The fact that retail, I mean, for one, I can't wait to get back in my local stores. It's all myself and my daughters talk about, on a serious note, that's part and parcel of your life. Obviously when schools start to go back, I think that's a critical thing. But I think it's very, what you said, there's some of the industries that you talked about, like you say, they've found a way around it. So it's not about putting problems in front of people, it's about finding a solution to come out of it. So that's interesting. So what about the perm recruitment market? Because obviously a large part of what you talked about there is the temp market. So perm recruitment has been obviously severely affected at the start of lockdown. Have you got any predictions around what's going to be a good perm market for people to look at?
I think to be honest, as a headline, global headline, if we look at the 9/11 impact on the economy, I think Brexit, I think the financial crisis, if you take those three periods, the sad thing to say is I think that permanent is going to be impacted straight away. Mm-hmm. There will be parts that won't. IT as an industry sector, in every recession that I can think back, and I've got a lot more grey hairs than you, Lysha, so I can go back to the 1980s, and even in the 1980s, IT and technology wasn't impacted. And I don't think it'll be impacted too much. There's still need for permanent heads. I think businesses in technology have got strong growth plans, and we're going to use more and more tech. So whether it's fintech, whether it's web, whether it's cloud, whether it's software as a service, all that sort of stuff, I think that's going to go on, and therefore there's a need for tech people. So the permanent market there will have taken a hit. It has taken a hit, but I think it'll go forward. Engineering. Globally, there's a global skill shortage of engineers. There's the grey beards, as they call them. They're all looking to retire, the boomers. Whether it's nuclear, rail, maybe automotive's going to struggle a bit, but construction, all of these have got large numbers of engineers who are looking to retire. And I'm a little bit closer to retirement than you, Lysha, and a lot of my friends are saying, I've really enjoyed this working from home, and actually, maybe I won't go back, and maybe I'm going to look to plan my retirement in the next couple of years. Yeah. There's a whole raft of other things in there, like, how are their pension pots doing and all that. But so I don't think engineering is going to be impacted hugely, but it is going to be impacted. I think IR35 has had a massive impact.
Of course.
I think that is going to impact both those sectors quite heavily. Yes. Because I think businesses that were gearing up for IR35, I know the government suspended it, but the reality is people have said, yeah, but we're going to carry on with it. So that's impacted.
Yeah.
Now the tough bit, the bit that people are going to have to face up to is that other industries are they're not going to come back for a while. If I remember the 9/11 impact, so graduate recruitment was impacted for about 12-18 months, I think, when we had the financial crisis. I think that might impact, headcount might impact. So yeah, temp, freelance, contracting, yeah, the opportunity is there.
Definitely.
This is what somebody's effectively done with the world economy on all business models. You just pick them up, shake them all up, and then chuck them on the floor
and see what you come out with.
You got to see what you come out with. And yeah, all of the clients that I'm working with, we've created new business models. There's a lady I've started coaching who's a client of yours. I won't mention in case she doesn't want to be talked about, but she was doing perm recruitment before the crisis, before lockdown. I suggested immediately she get into temp because the market won't come back, and she's supplying 20-30 temps right now.
Absolutely brilliant. I know who you're talking about, and that's wonderful to hear. So big love to her and respect to her for that.
And I'm just doing the same with other people. Get out there, start talking to your clients. She's a brilliant example of somebody who was anxious and nervous about temp working. And here she is now, 20-30 workers out there. I mean, it's brilliant. And there are lots of other people like that.
It's time to be nimble, isn't it? And it's time to look at what you've got in terms of your value of your market knowledge and adapting it quickly, because it can be done.
It is. Let me just give out something which I think is really important. Okay. And that is, in the last 8 to 10 weeks, the health workers of this country have been the people that we've admired the most. None of us can give the health workers any more celebration and credit than we've done with the Thursday class. And I hear that this Thursday might be the last one.
Yeah.
You know, that's great, because in a way the country needs to move on and those people need to get their lives back. But you know, now is the time for us as recruiters to keep Britain working. There's a hashtag out there. I think Reed and Mawson, a few other the big recruiters have picked it up. And you know what? I would say there's a call to action. We as recruiters have a responsibility to get our country working.
Agreed.
And this is the time we need to help find people with work, whether it's temporary work to start with, whether it's permanent work. And there are potentially right now somewhere in the region of 8 to 10 million people who are, let's say, economically inactive.
Yeah.
They're either furloughed, they're either unemployed.
Yeah.
We need to get those people working, and we need to get those people working fast. Yeah. And we need to move people and deploy people, and we need to get the right skills in the right place. And if we do that and we get Britain working again, we get the economy working, and it's a snowball effect. It's a positive.
It's a cascade effect, isn't it? And it's ultimately about going right back to the mindset of what I said at the very start of the introduction about you. You know, having a very simplistic view of things will improve, things will get better, but actually it's having a practical element to that. And from what you said, and certainly, you know, you're very informed to be able to say that to our audience. You know, as a non-exec director of a number of businesses across a number of different revenue streams, ultimately the people that are going to not just survive this but thrive on the other side of it have got that mindset. It's about, right, we are going to get, it's not what can we do, it's this is what we will do. So I mean, so what would your top tips be, you know, for businesses that are watching, because we do get a lot of our clients watching too, who maybe haven't got a non-exec director? You know, is this the time to invest in somebody like yourself to bring a different perspective in? What are the benefits, what are the advantages of having a non-exec?
So the advantages are you get access to our wisdom and knowledge and experience. We're there to obviously give you guidance and support. The job of a non-exec is not to be telling you all the time what to do. It's to guide you, it's to challenge you, it's to get you thinking the right way. It's, you normally appoint somebody who's been there, done it, got the t-shirt, has got the wisdom and knowledge, but you normally couple that with somebody who's got a creative new idea. Yes. And you fuse the two together. I mean, I think in a way it's like my children are a little bit older than yours. We were talking before we went on camera. My eldest is now 29 this year. My youngest is 19, and I've got two others, one at 25 and one at 23. And I think being a non-exec is like being a parent to a 29 or 25-year-old, which is you can give them your wisdom, but you have to respect the fact that they can choose to ignore it.
Yeah.
And actually, it is appropriate that they ignore it, because we don't have all the answers. And if we did, then the world wouldn't evolve, and lifestyles and technology and society wouldn't move on apace, you know. So yeah. It is right. But equally, history has a habit of repeating itself. And, you know, it's sad, because there are going to be some painful parts of the next 2 to 3 years, but there are also some real positive things. And I, like you, for the next 12 months, the glass is going to be either half empty or half full. And for me, you focus on the bit that's half full and you make the rest of it full. And you've got to work on it. And there are businesses out there that are going to thrive in this recession. In 4 or 5 years' time, we'll hear huge success stories of businesses that set up during the recession.
Absolutely.
You can go back to the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, the 60s, the 80s, the noughties. There are businesses that were founded in economic downturns that have thrived today and very successful. You know, Marks and Spencer started on a stall in Leeds Market, you know, 125 years ago. You know, there are lots of businesses out there that started, and they're going to grow now. So why shouldn't your listeners right now be one of those successful businesses?
I agree. Totally, and that's what this channel was created to sort of enhance, the element of entrepreneurialism, being brave. You know, the fact is that now is the time to really find yourself and not be afraid to do it, and finding that niche, finding the value that you can give to the market. One final question for you, and I'm really putting you on the spot here. I've got a view that for now, if you're not prepared to get on the phone and business develop, you're going to really struggle in recruitment. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, is the short answer.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's any different today than it was yesterday or the day before.
No, it's not.
You can do it unsophisticated. You can do it crudely.
Yep.
You know, hi, my name is Jane Smith or whatever. You know, I work for ABC Limited. You know, we are an accounting recruitment company in Manchester. Do you have any vacancies? Or you can do it with a bit more sophistication.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an NLP master practitioner, and one of the things that we talk about is the law of reciprocity. Dr. Robert Cialdini, in his book Persuasion, talks about the same law. The law of reciprocity is the best way to illustrate it, Lysha, is if you and I were to go off somewhere into the Trough of Bowland at the weekend, okay, and we came to a car park and we're about to go up and park our car, and we walked up to a meter to put our £3 in to park the car for a couple of hours. And as we did that, a little old lady comes up to us and says, "Here, our love, have my ticket." So she gives you a ticket, and it's got 2 or 3 hours on there. And then she turns round and picks up 2 or 3 heavy bags of shopping. What would you do?
Well, of course you'd pick up her bags and say, "Where can I take your bags to? Do you want some money for your ticket?" You do the right thing.
Because that is the law of reciprocity. That is one of the most powerful things in our society. It's what makes society go. In lockdown, in this COVID crisis, that has been very, very positive everywhere you can see it. But she never asked you to do it.
No.
But because of our society's norms, you feel obligated. So when you're making a cold call to a client doing business development, if you're ringing up with nothing, psychology of the call is, "Please, Mr. Client, can you help me?"
Yeah.
If you're ringing up with a candidate, or you're ringing up with a news article, or you're ringing up to share some market knowledge or understanding, then the psychology of the call is, "I'm giving you, I don't know, a £2 ticket to park your car for free." Whether you wanted it or not, as long as it's genuine, as long as it's authentic, and as long as it's sincere, the person on the other end will respond in a very different way.
I
So
think
that's the question, is when you ring up now and you do business development, how can you do it in a way that is positive, sincere, and comes across that you're giving something to the other person unconditionally?
Yeah, I think authenticity has definitely been something that has come out of the last 9-10 weeks. I think you can see those that are just trying to regurgitate what everyone else is doing, but I think that's a really nice way to end this interview, because you're a very sincere person, as am I. We're well known for it. We've earned the right to be, and I think that's definitely going to be the measure of what makes a good business developer going forward. So thank you so much, and good luck with your golf, and obviously good luck with all the coaching and with all the million balls that you're juggling with all your non-exec roles. And thanks for taking time to talk to us today, and I'll see you soon.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Still recording.
Oh yeah. Bye.